In the last video, I introduced the three trigonometric ratios, sine, cos, and tan. I gave you a memory aid, Sohcahtoa, to remember what that sine theta is O over h, cosine theta is A over h, and the tan of theta is O over A, where theta is just some angle in a triangle. That's not the right angle. We also learned that when you're labeling a triangle, the hypotenuse h is always across from their 90-degree angle. And then O must always be opposite your angle theta that you are using. So in this case, there's theta, this would be O. And then A is the last side that's beside it. What I didn't mention in the last video is what's the purpose of sine, cos, and tan? Well, the purpose is it gives us a relationship between an angle and the ratios of the sides of a triangle. So it's a way of, if you know the sides of a triangle, you can work backwards to find out an angle. Or if you know an angle, you can work out the sides of a triangle. So it relates angles to ratios of sides. And this is a very useful tool for working out the lengths of triangles or the heights or the lengths of sides of triangles when you know the angles. And in reverse, if you know the sides, the lengths of the sides, you can work out the size of the angles inside a triangle. So it's a very useful tool. Here's a basic example of how to use Sohcahtoa. We're going to learn here in these examples just how to write down what sine, cos, and tan are equal to when we know all the three sides of a triangle. So for these examples, for the following, write down the values of sine, cos, and tan. Now, before we write down what sine, cos, and tan are, we need to label our right-angled triangle. And if you look at this triangle here, we have a right angle here and we have our angle theta here. So let's start with h. H is always the longest side and it's always across from the right angle. So here it is, that's h. The O and the A do matter here. O is always opposite your angle theta, so it's opposite, so it's the number 5. So this is my O. Don't put the O down here because you might then think that this is the number 50. So put it slightly above it or below it. The 12 is the adjacent. So I have labelled my triangle. Next, I'm going to write down sine, and the name of the angle is theta. So I say sine theta is equal to. And to do this, it's very easy. We use Sohcahtoa, and sine is O over h. So if you want, you can write O over h and then put equals. And our O number is 5, and our h number is 13. So there's your answer for sine theta is 5/13. Cosine theta is Ka A over h, which in our example here is 12 over 13. And tan of theta is O over A, which in our example is 5 over 12. And there's our answer. Question example 1 is done. Let's move on to a second example. Here we have a triangle. There's the right angle. First thing we need to do is label our triangle. We start with h. H is always across from the right angle, so it's the number 6. Then we turn our attention to the angle that we are interested in. We're interested in angle theta, which is up here. And I want to imagine an arrow firing out opposite. And this is the side that's opposite theta, 3√3, kind of a funny number. But that's my O, that's my opposite. And then that means that this last remaining side must be my adjacent. Now, I'm going to write sine of angle theta is O over h, which is, in this example, my O number is 3√3, divided by my h number, which is 6. And if you can see that something breaks down or cancels, you can do it. Notice that a 3 divides into a 3 once and 3 into 6 goes twice. So √3 over 2 is a simplified answer. If in doubt, you can always put the fraction button on your calculator and write 3√3 on top, in this case, arrow down, put a 6 in the bottom, and then press equals. And you'll notice that √3 over 2 comes up on the calculator screen. And I would tend to leave my answers in, this is called surd form, unless the question asks you to change it. If they ask you to change the decimals, there you go. It's 0.8660254,038. But you'll notice that the decimals go on a lot here. Normally we end up rounding off. Okay, let's do cos theta. Cos theta is a over h, which in this example is 3 over 6. And 3 over 6 is a fraction that can break down to a half, because 3 goes into 3 once and into 6 twice. Again, if you're not good at fractions, you can put your fraction key in and go 3 over 6 and press equals, and 1/2 comes up, or 0.5 as a decimal. And then tan theta is O over A, which in this case is 3 root 3 over A, which is 3. And again, you can put this into a calculator to see if it simplifies, but you'll see that the 3 cancels with the 3, and you just get root 3. So the answer is root 3. So there is sine, cos, and tan of this angle, root 3 over 2, 1/2, and root 3. Another example before I finish this video. Here is another triangle that has a 1, a root 3, and a 2, and a right angle. And in this example, I'm just showing you that we don't always call the mystery angle theta. We can call it any letter, usually capitals. In this particular example, we have an angle B, okay? Now, I need to label my triangle. So I find the hypotenuse first, and the hypotenuse will be across the right angle. H is 2. The opposite is opposite B. Wherever B is, it's opposite that. So this is my opposite. And then 1 must be my adjacent. And then very simply, to get sine of B, sine of angle B, notice that it's not theta anymore, it's B. So sine of angle B is O over H, Sohcahtoa, remember? And that's root 3 over my H number, which is 2. Now that doesn't break down. You can check it on a calculator. I'm going to do cos of angle B is A over H, which in this case is my A number is 1 and my H number is 2, so it's a half. And again, that doesn't break down. You could write it as a decimal, but I'm going to leave it as a fraction. And then finally, tan B is O over A, which in this video is root 3 over 1. And this does break down to just a root 3. But if you left it as root 3 over 1, it's still okay. So there you have it. In this video, I've shown you how to label a triangle properly, O, A, and H, and then how to write down the sine of an angle, the cosine of an angle, and the tan of an angle. And this is an extremely important skill that you must learn. In the next video, I'll show you what happens when maybe one of the sides is missing.